Imagine living in a world where almost nobody listened when you spoke. Imagine spending day after day helping people, teaching them, warning them, and caring about them. But they refused to listen. Most people would give up. Most people would stop trying. Most people would lose hope. But not Prophet Nuh. He became one of the most patient people who ever lived. His story contains a giant ark, a great flood, animals from every kind, and one of the most powerful lessons about faith and perseverance. So sit back, get comfortable, and let's travel thousands of years into the past, to the time of Prophet Nuh. The people forget Allah. Many generations had passed since the time of Prophet Adam and Prophet Idris. At first, people worshipped Allah alone. They remembered the teachings of the prophets. They prayed. They were grateful. They followed Allah's guidance. But as the years passed, something began to change. Among the people were several righteous men who were loved and respected. When these good men died, people became very sad. They missed them greatly. Some people suggested making statues to remember them. These statues will help us remember the good people, they said. At first, that seemed harmless. The statues were only reminders. Nobody worshipped them. But many years later, new generations forgot why the statues had been made. Little by little, people began honoring the statues, then asking them for help, then worshipping them. Without realizing it, they had fallen into a terrible mistake. They stopped worshipping Allah alone. Allah sends Nuh. Allah loved his creation and wanted to guide them. So Allah chose a righteous man. His name was Nuh. Nuh was kind, honest, patient, wise, and he cared deeply about his people. Allah made him a prophet and gave him a mission, to call people back to worshipping Allah alone. Nuh immediately began his work. He went to his family, his neighbors, his friends, the leaders, the poor, the rich, everyone. And he gave them the same message. O my people, worship Allah alone. The first days of dawah, at first, Nuh hoped people would listen quickly. He explained gently. He spoke kindly. He answered questions. He reminded them about Allah's blessings. The rain, the crops, the animals, the sky, the earth, everything Allah had created. Some people listened, but most refused. They laughed. They mocked him. They ignored him. Yet Nuh did not stop. Years become decades, days turned into months. Months turned into years. Years turned into decades. Still Nuh continued. Imagine waking up every morning knowing that people might reject you again. Yet you continue anyway. That was Nuh. He spoke during the day. He spoke at night. He spoke publicly. He spoke privately. He spoke gently. He spoke firmly. He tried every possible way to help his people. But many people became even more stubborn. The leaders especially disliked Nuh's message. They worried that people would stop following them. So they encouraged others not to listen. The children grow up. Years passed. The children who had laughed at Nuh grew up. Then they had children of their own. And Nuh was still calling people to Allah. Can you imagine that? Most people work at something for a few years. Nuh continued for centuries. The Quran tells us that he remained among his people for 950 years calling them to Allah. 950 years. Almost an entire millennium. Yet he never gave up. Never stopped. Never lost hope. This is why Nuh is remembered as one of the greatest examples of patience in history. The people's cruel response: instead of listening, many people became rude. Whenever Nuh spoke, they would cover their ears. Some turned away. Others mocked him. Some laughed loudly. Some told their children not to listen. Yet Nuh continued caring for them. Because prophets truly love their people. They want good for them, even when they are treated badly. Allah reveals the truth after many centuries. Allah informed Nuh of something important. Very few more people would believe. The people had chosen their path. Again and again. Year after year. Generation after generation. Then Allah gave Nuh a surprising command. A command nobody expected. Build an ark. Allah told Nuh, build a great ship. A huge ark. A vessel unlike anything people had ever seen. Imagine Nuh hearing this command. There was one problem. The people did not live near the sea. There was no giant body of water nearby. Yet Allah commanded him to build an enormous ship. Nuh obeyed immediately, because he trusted Allah completely. The ark begins day after day. Nuh worked. He cut wood, prepared materials, built massive sections of the ark. The ship slowly grew larger, and larger, and larger. People walked past and laughed. A ship? Why are you building a ship? Where is the ocean? What are you doing? They pointed and laughed. But Nuh remained calm, because he knew something they did not. When Allah commands something, there is always wisdom behind it. The ark is finished. Eventually the ark was completed. It stood huge and strong, unlike anything the people had ever seen. Then the signs Allah promised began to appear. The time had come. Nuh knew Allah's warning was about to happen. The animals arrived. Something amazing happened. Animals began coming toward the ark. Pairs of animals. Large animals. Small animals. Birds. Creatures of many kinds. One by one they approached. People watched in confusion. What was happening? Why were animals gathering around Nuh? The answer would soon become clear. The rain begins. Dark clouds filled the sky. The wind changed. Thunder rolled through the air. Then rain began to fall. At first it seemed normal. But it did not stop. And it did not stop. And it did not stop. The rain grew heavier. Water burst from the ground. Water poured from the sky. Soon streams became rivers. Rivers became raging floods. The people finally realized that Nuh had been telling the truth. But it was too late. Boarding the ark, the believers entered the ark. The animals entered. Everything was ready. The giant ship began to float. The waters continued rising. Higher, higher, and higher. Soon houses disappeared. Trees vanished beneath the water. Mountains stood surrounded by endless floodwaters. The ark sailed safely because Allah was protecting it. Nuh and his son. One of the saddest moments in the story happened during the flood. Nuh had a son who chose not to believe. Even though his father was a prophet. Even though he had heard the message many times. Nuh called out to him with love. Come with us. Be safe. But his son refused. He thought he could save himself. He thought a mountain would protect him. But nothing can protect a person from Allah's decree except Allah's mercy. The floodwaters rose. And his son was lost. Nuh felt great sadness. This reminds us that guidance comes from Allah. Even prophets cannot force someone to believe. Each person must choose. The flood ends. Eventually Allah commanded the rain to stop. The skies became calm. The waters slowly began to recede. Little by little, the flood disappeared. The ark eventually came to rest upon land. The believers were safe. The great trial had ended. A new beginning. The doors of the ark opened. Fresh air entered. The animals emerged. The believers stepped onto dry land. Imagine how they felt. Relieved. Grateful. Thankful. Allah had saved them. A new chapter for humanity was beginning. The descendants of those believers would spread across the earth. And life would continue. Lessons from Prophet Nuh. What can we learn from Nuh? Lesson 1. Never give up. Nuh spent 950 years calling people to Allah. He never quit. Lesson 2. Trust Allah even when building a ship far from the sea. Nuh trusted Allah. Lesson 3. Be patient. People mocked him for centuries. Yet he remained patient. Lesson 4. Obey Allah. When Allah commanded him, he obeyed immediately. Lesson 5. Faith is more important than popularity. Most people rejected Nuh. But being with the truth matters more than being with the crowd. Ending. And so ends the story of Prophet Nuh. The prophet of patience. The builder of the great ark. The man who trusted Allah when nobody else did. His story teaches us that even when the world laughs at us for doing what is right, we should stay firm and trust Allah. Because those who trust Allah are never truly alone. What was your favorite part of Prophet Nuh's story? Was it the ark? The animals? The flood? Or Nuh's incredible patience? Tell us in the comments below. And join us next time for the story of Prophet Hud and the mighty people of Ad, who built enormous structures but forgot to thank Allah for their blessings. See you in the next adventure. Glowing star, open book, ship, cloud with rain.